flavors.
Just like we're doing DLM. She goes first, baby. Ladies go first all the time.
I guess so. Well, you have the write-up, but basically, Iván and I, Iván taught me to cook. Before we were married, I was a very boring cook, and now I've learned that it can actually be fun. And with when we were married, and our first home together was in Madrid, Spain, and we had the very happy opportunity to be in an international community. Iván was serving as an air attaché in the U.S. Embassy, and his job was to meet with all these internationals from other countries. So we ate a lot of really good food from around the world. It was nice, and we enjoyed the food and would ask people, you know, to share recipes and all. And there was a group of us that really started getting together and sharing the cultural influences on the food. And it came to be something that we really enjoyed. We continued that when we came back to the US, and it's just kind of become a way of life for us since then. When we moved to Ohio, we decided to formalize things, and that's how Casa Núñez officially got started.
Yeah, and since then we've been very lucky with meeting new friends, getting to know the community, participating in community activities such as churches, organizations, chambers, and things like that that allow us to show our passion for the food that we prepare with them. DLM, the Dorothy Lane Market, found us and asked us to teach over there, and it's just been great. And just not to pat myself in the back, but I was identified as the first singing chef ever to teach at DLM. So anyway, so
That's great.
That's my reputation
So
now.
it'll probably happen again tonight, you know, things.
And I have to keep it even if we teach in German food. So anyway,
It works.
it's fun, and we like to show you tonight some of two of the recipes that we are very attached to because they're from Puerto Rico. And I know you all have drank Piña Coladas, and if you look at the can made by Goya for their crema de coco or coconut cream, they say, what is it? They say, add this to pineapple juice and ice cream. And you gotta be kidding me. That's not a piña colada, okay? You know, they're gonna sell you this and they're gonna sell you the ice cream, but I'm not gonna sell you anything. I'm gonna tell you how to do the real piña colada. Now, before I do that, there are two places in San Juan that claim that they invented the piña colada. The first one is the Caribe Hilton. It's the Hilton Hotel. They claim that they were the first one. However, knowing my great aunt and the place that she worked at, which was the Barranchina in Old San Juan, they were the first one. And they were the first ones to include some of the ingredients that we're going to be talking about today. So these are the secret ingredients of the real piña colada, okay? It was invented in 1967. 63. I don't remember because I was I was 1 year old. I'm just kidding.
He wasn't drinking yet.
I'm drinking. But I started just after that. Okay. So the first thing is put some ice in the blender. Ice. Then the first secret ingredient, condensed milk. Not ice cream, condensed milk. That sweetness that you're gonna find as you drink your piña colada is right here, okay? So we're gonna put some of that.
Yvonne's probably put in about a third of a cup, maybe, would be the measure on that.
And then the other secret ingredient is not Bacardi, it's Don Q. Okay? Bacardi is known throughout the world, but this is the real Puerto Rican rum. It comes in crystal white and also in red or oro, the gold,
Dark rum.
the gold, okay? So we're gonna put some of this in there, as much as you want. Don't measure. Now, if you want if you want a virgin Piña Colada, don't put this in. Omit this.
Bacardi is what they make and ship to the world. Don Q is what they, for the most part, keep, and that's what the locals drink.
That's the good stuff, huh?
Interesting.
It's good stuff, and it's surprising that it really is different. It's different quality.
And you can find it at the liquor store?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the
Okay.
liquor store across 35.
Yeah, the Beaver Creek
The little one?
Wine and Spirits, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then go to Hawaii to get the pineapple. Okay? Go to Hawaii.
Who's the mess maker?
Huh?
Who's the messy cook?
Half of the can in the blender. Then I'm gonna put coconut milk. You see?
Yep.
Coconut milk. It's not coconut cream, it's coconut milk. And I'm gonna put half of the can in there.
Coconut milk is a lot thinner than the coconut cream is going to be.
Right.
And coconut cream has got almost a, I need a new one.
This one.
Almost a, like a solid layer on the top of it.
Right.
And then
It
comes
solidifies
the
there.
cream, okay? The cream.
Both of those are sold at Kroger.
As you can
Show the
see,
consistency.
it's very
Yeah.
dense, okay? I don't know if you can
It's
see it.
almost
Oh
like
my.
a gelatin kind of consistency on it.
Also have a can. There, noise. Easy does it.
I'll be right over.
Right.
We're gonna say, we've got plenty here.
Come over.
Wish you were here.
It's hard to enjoy that virtually.
Gosh, it looks delicious.
Wonderful.
If you're driving by, knock on the door and you'll have one to go. Okay?
Boy, that looks good.
And our toast is al motivo. Everybody?
Cheers.
I'm Motivo.
Motivo.
Al motivo. All right. I'm having it all. I'm not going to share.
Well, you know what they say in Indonesia? In Indonesia, they say satu lagi.
Yeah.
One more.
We're curious who the messier cook is of the two of you.
That's
I'm sorry.
Right? I've got to make sure that she heard. Which of you is the messier cook?
Messier?
Yeah, who makes more messes or the worst messes?
bigger
It,
mess.
it depends what we're making. What the menu is.
Okay. Well, Susie's getting ready. I will tell you the story. I was military training instructor, like a drill instructor, before I got commissioned. And we were so picky about, you have to make the bed so tight that you can balance the quarter on top.
Mhm.
You gotta have everything clean, everything, separated exactly by 1 inch from the hangers. I'm still doing that, okay? So I'm not the messy one.
No, that just needs cleaning. All right, fine. We'll let that one go. We'll let that one go. I'm not worried about it. Okay. We're gonna do avocados with with shrimp in them. This could be done. It's a nice summer salad. It's got like a mayonnaise base that you put the shrimp in. If you did 2 of them, I mean, it could be enough for a light meal, whatever, your personal preferences are. You can change things up a little bit. We're gonna give you some little hints, things that we've got. I've got some things started because it's really boring to just watch people chop things. So we're starting out. What I've got are some green onions, scallions, spring onions, whichever you prefer to call them. I've used the white and the green because it's prettier. I've got some chopped parsley and some chopped cilantro in here. And that's where we're at with that one. What we're going to do is we're going to add 1 part each of olive oil. It can be extra virgin if you want, because this is not something you're cooking. Don't waste your good, expensive extra virgin olive oil if you're gonna give it a lot of heat. If you're gonna roast something in the oven, you're wasting the money and the flavor because it's not gonna hold through. So, a regular olive oil is fine, but again, this is a fresh presentation, so you can use extra virgin on it. We're using some white wine vinegar, any brand you like, okay? And we're using mayonnaise. So I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of each of those into my ramekin. A little less on the vinegar because you don't want it to be too overly tart. Olive oil on that. Okay. And the one thing that at Casa Núñez we generally cannot cook without. Iván absolutely loves these. They're his secret ingredient. I have got some chopped capers. Those are not in the recipe that you have got, but we add those just because they're fun. So that's the part that you have to, black out of
The video.
of the video, whatever you're sending out, because if they weren't here, they don't get that kind of secret. So I'm adding. Hey,
Missed out.
let them know that they need to.
There's got to be some incentive, right?
Here in
Some bonus to
person.
show up.
Okay, we'll get that mixed in. We've got our shrimp over here. Now, I think the recipe says take cooked shrimp and you want to cut it into bite-sized pieces. We really like using the salad shrimp, if you can see those. They're very tiny. My hands are clean, but I mean, that's a very small shrimp.
Yep.
But it works perfectly because you don't have, it just fits more neatly into the bowl that the avocado is going to provide. So I'm gonna take my mayonnaise and oil and vinegar mixture. I'm gonna add it to my shrimp. I'm going to add some adobo. We use this instead of salt, okay? It has salt in it. There are a lot of varieties. They also sell this at Kroger or at a lot of the other markets. There are different, I don't wanna say flavors. Yes, he's cleaning, thank you. This one is the basic one. They sell others that are spicier that have a brown cap on them. They sell ones that have cumin in them that have a green cap. So they're all color coded for you. We'll sprinkle a little in, and I will warn you, the first time you use this, it comes out fast. So be careful.
We like it so much Then when we go to McDonald's to get
Egg McMuffin.
an egg McMuffin, I take that with me and I put the adobo in the egg McMuffin. It's fantastic. There you go.
All right. Now, we're putting this in an avocado. You can do the shrimp ahead and let it sit in the refrigerator if you would like, and then it's ready to go. You obviously don't want to cut your avocado early because then it's going to oxidize and turn brown. One thing that we have very definitely learned, if you're doing anything with an avocado and if it's a significant part of your meal, in other words, you're not willing to just skip that whole dish, if you need one, buy two, because you don't know what you've got until you open it up.
There's 77 cents per, at Kroger.
They're cheap at Kroger right now, that's right. Okay. So we will slice the avocado lengthwise, just spin it, turn it. There we go. This one's good. We're in luck, folks. We're in luck. Okay. For this dish, just to keep everything together, we serve it with the avocado skin on. However, to make it easier to eat, I'm going to score the top of it. I'm going to cut just a crosshatch pattern. You don't want to cut through the skin, but we're doing that so that if you can see, you can probably see what I'm doing here. Are you getting the idea here?
Yes.
You want to do that just so it's easier to get individual bites out of it, okay? The other thing that you want to do is take the bottom of it and just take a very small slice. It's hardly any. It's a sliver. It's barely into the green. That way, we stand and we don't go sliding around. And the thwack. There we go. It worked. Yay. Okay, we'll do the same on our other one. Again, being careful not to cut all the way through the skin of the avocado. It's not that big a deal, but you do want to be able to keep it intact. So, we have our avocado, we have our shrimp, and we're just going to put it in our little bowls there. If it spills out, not a problem. If you're serving these on individual plates, I mean, it looks just you're a very generous host. Okay.
Let's see. I wanna.
Got that? Okay. We're going to take some of these beautiful, little snacking tomatoes and just scatter them around the outside because they are so pretty.
I don't know if I'm.
You got it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll make it look nice. And then we're going to take a little bit of lime because lemon or lime is always delicious with seafood and brightens things up. And we'll give it a real quick squeeze over the top. And there you go. Some shrimp and avocado salad. Very easy to prepare.
That looks wonderful.
Yes, it does. I just got a really good picture of it too up close, so thanks for that, Iván.
Oh, you're welcome.
Susie, how much shrimp did you guys use there?
It was about 2 cups
Okay.
for each of the 1 cup per of the salad shrimp.
The shrimp mix?
It's about a cup. It's about a cup.
I actually probably only put about half a cup. It's again, it depends how generous you want to be.
What a cup.
There's not really a real rule. I'll have a pina colada. I can do that.
You earned it.
There we go.
Oh, questions or anything like that?
You can change this up. If you don't want to do it with parsley and cilantro, you can put dill in it. Okay? The capers are going to have that type of flavor anyway, but you can, swap that out if you want. You can do it with crab meat. We've done that.
Yeah.
What are the other variations that really the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And avocado is a really great bowl
Yeah.
for so many.
We have used
different
a
things.
mix that we make with ground beef and chorizo, and that's really nice too. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
even something warm.
yeah,
It
it
works
will
well.
go very well.
Well, it looks delicious.
Fantastic. Nice and fresh, I'm sure.
I'm sorry?
I said it is a nice fresh dish.
Oh, yeah.
It is, and like I said,
It
if
is.
you want to serve half of an avocado and do that as a starter, as a salad kind of thing before a meal, or if you want to have both of them and that's just a light lunch, it's kind of nice.
Hmm.
I have a question on the pina colada.
Yeah.
Mine had a hole in the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Not anymore.
It's a milkshake.
Question on your pina colada. On the recipe that you guys had given us, it said heavy cream. So you're brought in the coconut milk in place of the heavy cream, correct?
Exactly. It's the
Perfect.
coconut cream
Mhm.
instead of the other cream.
Perfect.
Those are the secrets.
I like on more secrets. Okay.
It's a
I gotta
big
make sure I make it right.
They argue a lot about
Who makes the best?
who invented it, who made the first one. But since his great aunt worked at this restaurant, we kind of vote with family, so we have our loyalties. Since
Have you
just,
tried?
I like it.
You
That's
can
just-
make another version of your shrimp salad with maybe adding some curry powder to it, or
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. I'm a spicy girl, so I would like to add something.
spice. You can certainly spice it up. You can
Yeah.
do you could do it with
Cayenne.
with cayenne. You could do it with like chili powder.
Yeah.
That brightens things up.
And also paprika, spicy
You use
paprika.
paprika.
Yeah.
All of those work. It just depends on what flavors you like most. Another thing that I've seen done with this, which makes it not quite so light, but I've seen bacon crumbled over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd be up for that.
Mhm.
Bacon makes the world go round.
Yeah,
Makes
it
sense.
does.
That will be a full meal.
But well, I know what we're eating for dinner tonight. So
Yeah.
this is,
Make me another.
and well, we've got the spare.
Yeah.
Seriously though, you all probably know this, but you really cannot trust an avocado by the way it looks or even the way it feels. We've learned that when we include avocados in menus that we're doing, we always have to buy extras because probably 1 out of 4 you'll open it up and it'll just be unpleasant looking
Oh,
inside.
Yeah.
And you don't want to serve that. It might taste fine, but you don't want to serve it.
You don't even want no.
Yeah,
No.
Food at the least, food's got to look good, right?
exactly. That's the most. Presentation. That's one thing that we have learned, especially as we do the classes, is presentation is number one because people are going to eat with their eyes first.
Hmm.
And
True.
then they're going to taste and so forth. And but yeah, what they look at, number one.
You work up an appetite first based on the visual. Well, the smell also.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
But never underestimate the appearance, the cute factor. In appetizers, you can have something that basically is exactly the same thing you're putting on an entree plate, and you serve it as an appetizer and garnish it, and it looks awesome.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, everybody's even more excited about it. So Maybe it's, you know, it's like brunch tastes better than either breakfast or lunch.
Yep.
So, one of those. All right. Well, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you
Thanks a lot.
guys.
That's fantastic, both the recipes.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So, Iván, I know you have another activity for us, but before we engage in that, can I just open it up for a couple of you who are on the call? I know, Ashley, you're not able to make it to all of our events and stuff, so if you guys just want to do introductions and just give us kind of where you're from and who you are and
Perfect.
something like that.
Yeah, and I don't have my kids in here being crazy right now, so it's great time. So I'm Ashley Runk, and I'm with Day Air Credit Union. I'm a business development specialist.
And Ashley, what are your guys' you guys are back kind of open, is that correct?
So most of the branches are open. You know, they only let a couple people in at a time. Our staff's wearing masks and we have the plexiglass. My team and I are still working from home. I think a lot of the teams are still actually working from home. So.
Okay. Great, thank you. Sandy?
Hi, I'm Sandy Brubaker. Most of you know me. I know the Casa Núñez knows me because I've been there quite a bit, and their food is always, always delicious. But I'm currently working from home looking for new employment. So if you hear of anything, let me know.
Oh, what are you looking at? What for?
I'm looking for probably marketing, PR, would love to get into HR. So I would love to get into higher ed. That's really where the bulk of my experience is. But, you know, the schools are not faring well through all of this. So
True.
we will see.
Well, have you looked into the what's it, U.S. jobs?
On that
No, not U.S. jobs. I've done the Ohio jobs.
No. Take a look at U.S. jobs. There's
Okay.
a lot of openings, even in HR, because the bases rotate a lot, and most of the time they hire spouses that are here for maybe 3 years, 4 years, and then they have an opening.
Okay.
So
That's great.
HR
Thank you.
turnovers are very, very fast.
Thank you for
And
that.
there are other locations also, you know, other bases. If you want to move.
well, best of luck.
I'd love to stay here.
Okay.
Stay here.
I was gonna send you to Washington DC because we have we sell in a condo over there, so.
That sounds like punishment.
All right, thanks, Sandy. Mike?
Like you guys, I spent a little time traveling around. I grew up in Indiana, and then I joined a management consulting firm and moved to Cleveland, and then spent 6 years there. Then went to Atlanta, opened an office there, and built that business up. Then moved to Singapore and opened an office, and I spent 15 years in Asia. Eventually, I had 14 offices in 10 countries. Lived a little bit of time in Australia as well, and 3 years in Hawaii, and then Boston, and then Indianapolis, and then to Dayton. So hopped all over the place. But like you guys, my hobby has been for many years. Years ago, I was a short order cook and a chef for a while to help pay for college. So I did that for about 6 years as well, and learned how to cook a little bit, you know, some of the basics, the knife skills and that kind of stuff. And then when I was in Singapore, I got to meet a lady through my wife who had some Chinese restaurants, and she came to our house and taught us how to cook some Chinese menus from her restaurant and her family. And then later on, I met a Thai chef when I was in Indianapolis. Actually, I met a lady who was an accountant, and her family owned 2 restaurants in Bangkok. And she kind of did what you did. She would go to people's homes, and we'd have 10 or 12 people there, and she would teach us how to cook 3 Thai dishes where we did the cooking. So I learned some Thai dishes as well, and then when I got, and before that, when I got married, cooking was my hobby. So I kind of deal with my wife before we got married. I do at least 80% of the cooking when I was home, and she'd clean up my mess. So, so for my whole life, basically, I've done most of the cooking. So we do lots of cooking. A lot of it's Asian style.
Well, that's one thing that we don't do in Casa Núñez, so you're gonna have to come over and be our.
Actually, I got some killer fried rice and pad Thai and
Yeah.
I've got some really good. I've got a green curry with chicken that's fantastic. Authentic and fairly easy to make. You know, with that kind of cooking, it's mostly all preparation. The cooking doesn't take long at all, but you know, you could spend an hour chopping stuff up.
We know. But we'll have to have you over for an invited chef.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, why not?
We'll coordinate that offline. That sounds great.
Sounds
good.
fun, yeah.
I like it. I like it. Well, thank you guys, and thank you to you for joining us this evening. So, Iván, do you have another activity for us?
If you all want to join me, sure. This is I'm gonna make it short, but this is a song that I wrote while I was stationed in Panama, but it's about Puerto Rico, and it's very easy to follow because it has this chorus that has no words, basically. Well, it has no words, 3 words, okay? So I'm gonna teach you the words, and I hope that you can join me. So the words are le, lo, lie. Everybody?
Say that again.
Lo, lie.
Okay.
Le, lo, lie.
And it repeats.
Lo, lie. It goes like this. We're gonna do a little practice.
We singing?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now I've got it down. Wait, but I brought my instrument.
Oh, look at there.
Let's do schools.
You get bonus points.
Oh, clap. Clap is good. Clap is good. Now, there you go.
Good job.
Yay!
Great job, Amanda, with the shakers.
I put my kids to work today and making some homemade maracas.
Cool.
Once this is over, we have to make a recording.
Okay.
That's a scary thought.
Happen.
The singing chamber.
The singing
Rather not have
chamber, oh
evidence.
dear. You don't think the board would be into that, Mike?
No, I don't think so.
Guys, we truly appreciate your time. Do you have anything else for us this evening? You want to share about your June
Meals.
dinners?
Oh.
Ooh, me?
Yeah.
So as I was saying to you before we started, we have 4 dinners coming up in June. We have a Moroccan, Italian, Kentucky. The Kentucky menu, like I said before, includes the Kentucky orgo, which is a stew with different types of beefs and potatoes and all kinds of things. We did it last year, and people loved the menu. For dessert, we have our version of the cookies.
Oh, we did.
The s'mores
We did
cookies.
s'mores cookies.
Yes, they are really delicious. As a matter of fact, there's pictures maybe in the Casa Núñez Facebook. Those are the cookies that kind of we created. There's fun. And then at the end of the month, we have San Juan Day, St. John celebration back in the capital of Puerto Rico with a Puerto Rican menu that includes the Puerto Rican lasagna. Puerto Rican lasagna is made with plantains, ground beef, green beans, cheeses, eggs. It's really interesting. Very flavorful.
It's layered
It's
like
layered.
a lasagna would be. It's but you don't get the sauce or anything. But it's really good. It's one of my favorite Puerto Rican dishes.
And we will start that menu with a cold avocado soup. It's a cold avocado soup, and it's very delicious too.
And probably piña coladas.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So all the menus will have complementing beverages. So even the Moroccan has a type of mojito that they make with tea, and we will include that in the menu. And then we always serve wines and beer. So that's all included. So I hope that you guys can make it. We will send the announcements to be published at the chamber as time goes on. And we really appreciate everything you do for us
Yes, we do.
and for everybody else. Because you guys are great. And I meant it. You guys are fantastic.
Thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iván and Susie. We really, really do appreciate you guys taking the time, and you do such a fantastic job every single time we've been in there, and you never disappoint, that's for sure. So thank you to you guys for joining us, taking the time. Ashley, I hope the children enjoyed as